Hey, how we doing, everybody? Today we're going to take a ride over to Ben's Sugar Shack over in Temple, New Hampshire. Ben's a younger guy, but I tell you what, he's got a pretty big operation going over there for a fella his age. Let's take a ride over there and see what Ben's up to today.
Yeah, so I took a field trip in preschool and I got into it. We had sugar on snow and loved tapping trees, so my dad went down to my grandparents and got some buckets, and we brought them back, and we set up this little wood-fired little barrel and cut a hole in the top. And I was 5 years old when we started, and just sat out there and put kindling in it. It seemed like I could cook all day and not make anything. And next year for a Christmas present, my dad, this little shop that we're in here, built me a little sugar house and bought me a little 2x6 evaporator for a Christmas present. And ever since then, it's just got my blood, and I've been hooked now. So we started with 13 buckets, and now we're up over 20,000 taps, and we try to keep expanding every year. I don't know, it's a monster that's taken off, which is a lot of fun, a lot of work behind it. Setting up Sugarbush, there's what we call a tubing and main line, and this is a rock maple right here. When you try to find a group of a bunch of maples, if you're gonna, that's what you call a sugar bush, is when there's a bunch of trees together, that would be your sugar bush. And you have to install a main line and tubing, and then you have a little 5/16 tap that you have to go and drill every year. You have to put a new hole in the tree, and you try to tap under like a good limb. And what you need for the sap to run is warm days, like 45-degree days, and cold nights. And like this year, we've had so much snowpack and it's been so cold that we haven't been able to sugar yet. And we're just waiting. Like this Wednesday coming up looks like it might do something here. So this is what we call a sap extractor releaser. This is where all the sap will come in from the sugar bush, and these lines, as they come down, you use vacuum, and so this will be at 28 inches of vacuum, and the sap will be coming in here, and this releaser will dump about every single minute, and it dumps about 5 gallons of sap. And on an average day, this sugar bush will get about 6,000 gallons of sap out of here. You should average like a gallon of sap per tap hole on a good day of sap running. And some days you can see upwards of 2 gallons of sap a day from a tree. And it takes 40 gallons of sap for 1 gallon of maple syrup. And so what happens, we'll go into these big holding tanks, and a truck will come along and pick them up. This year is pretty tough going though, because the snow is so deep. We started with 13 buckets, and then each year we've added a few more taps. Like next year we got up to 100, and then, you know, the time I was 10 years old, we had about 500 taps out, and we did it all on buckets. And I wasn't strong enough to carry the buckets down the hill full of sap, so I just run to each tree and fill up the 5-gallon buckets, and my dad and my neighbor would just go behind me and grab the buckets and carry them down to the trailer to haul the sap away. And then they didn't like doing that much, so we went to tubing, and so me and my dad set up a whole sugar bush with tubing, so he didn't have to climb the hills anymore to get the sap. And ever since then, once we went to tubing, we've progressively got larger each year. We're, you know, when I was 15, I know we had about 3,000 taps, and that's when I decided that I really wanted to make maple syrup for a living. And so for the next couple of years, I worked hard and focused on trying to add more taps so we could make more maple syrup. And now I'm 26 years old, and we got just over 20,000 taps with 10 employees. And you know, the maple syrup, we should probably make about 8,000 gallons of syrup this year. The first year we only made 2.5 quarts, so come a long ways. So in bottling, this is pure maple syrup in this pan, and we have to heat it up to 200. Syrup boils at 219 degrees, and you used to have to use a hydrometer to measure the specific gravity of it. And once you get it to the right specific gravity, you'll take and shut the heat off, and it goes through a series of filters. So this is a filter press here, there's one up there, and well, you just, like any dust or anything, you want to get it all filtered out. There's when you cook maple syrup, it creates a sugar sand, and you have to filter that out. So from those presses, it will come over here, and it goes into another tank for the bottler, and then there it will go up, and you just put bottles under this, and this machine will fill 8 bottles at a time. And from there, it will come down the conveyor belt, and it goes onto a sorting table, and then the jugs are here, and then someone has to take and label them all up.
Smells good in here.
Yeah, this is our candy room.
Is it?
Yeah. That's what you call it. This machine's a candy pig. So we make all of our own maple candy every day, and so this will you have to cook maple syrup to 244 degrees, and you put it in this, and it will flow down into this auger, and it will turn it into sugar, and as it turns it, you fill up all these molds. So each day we package about 1,000 pieces of maple candy a day here. Sometimes during the season we'll probably ramp up a few more people, and then my grandparents come up on the weekends and help out, do tours, and Uncle Darrell comes around. So but full-time people that work here during the week, we have either 10 or 11 people here all the time working, and works out pretty good that way. So
Well, as you can see, folks, Ben over there is doing a fine job over in Temple. That business he made has come a long way. For someone 26 years old, I tell you what, he's doing a fine job. He told me his goal was to be the largest maple syrup producer in the world. I think he's going to do it. I really do. He's got good work ethic in him, that one, he does. We're going to start covering some of the smaller sugar shacks around the state next, people. Some of these families that do it just for the sugar for their friends and family. And I think that's going to get real fun, too. So hope you liked it, and I hope you tune in for the next one. Everybody, keep doing the right things. Be good to each other. Help out every chance you can. I'm telling you, it makes you feel good inside. Everybody, have a good day.